Hi, this is Sheena from Spa Boutique's Beauty Corner. Today I'm going to show you how to apply a red polish to the toenails. Now these are already filed, so they're nice and straight across. The big thing that I've got here going on is I make sure that I have my products, have my base, my top coat, my color, and an orange wood stick here with a little bit of cotton on the end there. You can see. I've already put my base coat on. So now what I'm going to do is take a piece of Kleenex, scrunch it up a little bit, and separate it and use it to separate my toes. This is usually the easiest way to go about doing it, and then the Kleenex does come in handy afterwards. When you go to do polish on the toes, you always want to make sure that you're using a newer polish. You don't want anything that's too thick, too gloopy. It's going to make your life very, very difficult, and it usually means that the polish is past its prime and it's not going to last as long once the application is done. So, when you do this, you don't want too much polish on the brush. So what we do is we usually wipe the brush alternately back and forth along the top of the bottle so that all of the color gets on one side and you have a small amount. You don't want too much at all. We're going to do each nail in 3 strokes, no more than that. I'll just zoom in a bit here for you. Okay. If you do any more than 3 strokes, what it does is it pulls the polish as it dries, and then you'll start to get texture in the finish, which is not what we want. So there's 3 strokes for that little guy there. You want to avoid touching the cuticle or the skin on either side. As polish dries, it peels off of the skin, so it'll bring any of the color that goes onto the nail with it, and that's what causes some of the chipping. So you want to clean anything up that touches the skin right away while it's dry. That'll give you the cleanest edge. I'm going to use the wooden end for that because it's a little sharper. You want to let your brush fan out a little bit, and that'll give you a more even coverage as well. When you go through aesthetic school, they always make you do your exams in the red because you can see exactly where it touches on the skin, and there's no hiding any mistakes with it. So you want to get as close to the cuticle as possible without actually touching it. And you can clean up around the base to get a more even line. I'm a little farther away from my toes than I'd like to be just so that I have the camera here so you can see it. So that's how you get the one coat. Now when you're doing the whole thing, you're going to start with the outside of one foot and go across to the other one and then go back across in the same way. That gives each layer enough time to dry. So once you've done that, you can go back and do your second coat. Now anywhere that you've missed, or if you want to get closer, you can definitely do that with the second coat. And again, if you touch the skin at all, just clean that up. And you can see how I'm moving my toes also, just to be able to get at the sides a little bit easier. Okay, so that is the second coat of red polish on there. Now with red especially, you want to give it time to set a little bit longer just so you don't start coloring your top coat, because what will happen is when you pull the top coat across, it will pick up some of the color. So I would say probably give this a good 2 or 3 minutes to dry completely, or not dry completely, but dry, and then go over top of it with a top coat. So that is how you apply red polish to the toenails.